This is Boxing Tickets NI in association with SB Sports. We're delighted to be joined once again with the operator, Owen O'Neill. What is it, Owen, we do? We're obviously at Owen's house, but what is it every time that when we do interviews? It's a warm day. I think it's going to be the warmest day in September ever.
Well, 24 degrees there.
I think it's going to be 27 degrees. Me and you will be in the freezer.
26 here soon.
We'll be in the freezer by 5 p.m.
Yeah, especially me being ginger. I don't know how I'm going to have sprints here at 1 o'clock. I don't know how I'm going to do them.
I guess obviously we always have to take the good weather when we can sort of get it. It's last day of sunshine, I think they're claiming it to be this year.
Yeah.
But obviously for you yourself, I guess obviously, you're just coming up now a month, unfortunately, since you lost your granny, and I think anybody that's watched her previous interviews will obviously known in your last fight she wasn't well, and unfortunately she obviously passed away a few weeks ago. For you, I guess in some ways you're using this as motivation, sort of. There's two ways we can obviously deal with life. We can deal with death. We can obviously deal with it and become somebody we're not. We sort of live in the past, but you want to obviously use that obviously passing of your granny as your motivation and your fuel for obviously your upcoming Irish title fight.
Yeah, well, it does. Well, I was more motivated than ever. Like, she passed there on the 13th of August, but the fight was announced, I think, a week or two before that. Something, it was 10 weeks or something that got announced. So I was more motivated than ever. And then obviously I knew my nanny, she had cancer. You know what I mean? I knew she was probably going to pass at some stage. But like, she only got cancer in March, or so, you know what I mean? And I live with her. You know what I mean? Most people know now, like, you know what I mean? So it's not just your nanny you see every weekend, or I live with her she's played a big part in bringing me up, her and my granda, so it is a big loss. It's tough, like, mate, to be honest with you. But I'm just trying to put everything in the box, and I feel like nothing can distract me or anything at the minute, you know what I mean? Which is obviously a good thing. Like, the day after I was back training, you know what I mean? I thank God I had boxing, do you know what I mean? I didn't turn to drink or anything like that. I didn't really drink much anyway, but just thank God I did get the fight announced before she did die, do you know what I mean? Because it's obviously more motivation and more reason why not fall off the wagon, do you know what I mean? So I've got the biggest fight of my career coming up, and I've got against a great fighter, you know what I mean?
I know for you yourself, obviously, where you're able to announce the fight beforehand, like, even though your grandmother's passed away now, she knew that obviously you had an upcoming fight, so
she knew about it.
You were able to obviously tell her about it beforehand.
She's seen the poster and all, like, she's seen all that, so she, like, to be fair, right up 2 days before she died, she was 100% switched on, she knew everything, and then obviously just things went downhill, but so she knew I had this fight coming up, she knew it was a big one, so like I said, it adds fuel to the fire, but I already was motivated as hell, because it's such a massive fight, fighting for an Irish title against Deco Garda. I've watched Deco many a times live, also on TV, so yeah, I know it's a massive fight, so yeah.
It sort of, sometimes I know the fights are happening and things like that, but it came to me from nowhere, sort of thing. Obviously, Conor's fight was initially announced, and I wasn't even aware there was a card being talked about. In some ways, and I know that, we're not sort of going here and slating people that's obviously called you out and things for fights in the past. You've had a belt. People obviously seen the belt and obviously seen you as an opportunity. For you, in some ways, obviously not that you need any more motivation than obviously you already had, but for you to beat Declan Geraghty, does that not put a statement back out to people to say, I'm not scared to have domestic fights? You're getting in there with someone that was a really, really good amateur. Declan Geraghty's probably 10, 15 times the amount of fights at least that you have. And
as an amateur, he's 12-time All-Ireland champion, is he? And he had 18 amateur fights, so God knows how many amateur fights he's had. And listen, when I was young, before I turned pro, I've been pro 4 years, I watched Deco in the Odyssey, the Ulster Hall, you know what I mean? I went to watch, not specifically him, like, but he's been on the cards, you know what I mean? So I would like to give myself credit, like, I've done well, you know what I mean? And obviously, like, I'm fighting a welterweight now, you know what I mean? It's my first, obviously, championship weight and stuff, so it's not that I'm scared to fight these guys, it's just Mark wanted me to fight the right people, the right weight, you know what I mean? So, like, Duffy, yes, I knocked him out. I was getting bait he was massive compared to me. Like he actually pushed me back where my game's pushing people back. There was times in the fight he was pushing me back. So lucky enough I didn't knock him out, but I was getting bait, you know what I mean? So
Do you, I know in some ways you probably feel that you're the underdog coming into the fight, that obviously, on paper people look at it probably and say that Deco's the favourite, but
yeah.
I guess obviously Deco is naturally the smaller person.
Yeah.
He obviously fought a lot of his career at super featherweight and things like that. Do you see the approach for you is obviously you getting in close to him and obviously, putting your weight onto him and obviously wearing him down, like we've seen obviously Deco look amazing against Archie Sharp for 6 rounds and then gets caught with a punch. And what sort of mind frame do you go into it in the fight? Do you like to play on the underdog mentality so when you win you can then go, I've upset the odds?
Yeah.
How's that affected you in terms of not coming into a fight as a favourite or expected to get beat?
I know there'll be people saying he's going to box ahead of me. Obviously he would be a lot better boxer than me. Obviously the amateur background, and he's fitting 30 fights as a pro, has he?
Yeah, I think it's pretty much close to that.
So, but then again, the weight that I've fought a lot heavier than him, so I don't know what way it's going to go. I just really believe that I'm going to do anything I can to win the fight. I know it's going to be obviously my hardest fight to date. 10 round or 2, I think the 10 rounds will suit me. As the Duffy fight went on, I got better. I would like to, well, a couple of rounds at the end, he probably he won, like, but as the rounds go on, I think I do get better, like, yeah.
You're obviously returning to the venue of your one and only stoppage sort of as well, and the Gerwood, and what an atmosphere it was there last year, and like it's a real every card, and sort of I keep touching on the fact that there's so many D Walsh fighters on the card, obviously in the stable, like obviously I think Mark's sort of making it like 2 co-main events. Obviously Conor fighting for his first 2 belts as a pro, and you obviously fighting for an Irish title to go alongside your Celtic title. So like when you sort of look at it and you're going, by the end of this year you'll be Celtic and Irish champion.
Yeah, well, mate, that's flipping Jesus. Obviously I turned pro and people laughed. What's he turning pro for? So it's just massive for me, like, you know what I mean? Proper massive, like, it's all I'm thinking about. Obviously my nanny died, but sometimes I feel a bit selfish, like, I'm just thinking about this fight. Thinking about making the weight and training, and I'm training sometimes 3 times a day. So it's really all I'm thinking about, and all I'm focused on at the minute, you know what I mean?
When we spoke previously, we've obviously spoke about solitude. But obviously you become an Irish champion. I know there's talk of maybe obviously the winner having to fight Kieran Malloy and things like that as well, but it could change very quickly, and I know Mark probably wouldn't be as much into the football side of things and probably know where obviously the football side of things ties in, but solitude could become more of a reality, obviously beating Declan Gardy.
Yeah, flip 100%. There's more people saying to me about it, more Kimball fans are saying to me about it. You want to get in here one time, but see what happens, mate. Listen, like I said many times, this is massive for me. The chairman of Kimball actually said to me last week at one of the games, he goes, "Oh, you're fighting for an Irish title." Here's me, and he goes, "You get the win and you be on the pitch the week after." And I was like, flip. Right, okay, and after it, I was talking to me, who'd attacked who we playing? We play Linfield at home. Couldn't believe it. It me flip me, that's more motivated than anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's brilliant, you know what I mean?
Do you look for wee moments of obviously of motivation and inspiration? I guess, was anything in life obviously where were sort of, people sort of looked at you turning pro, and do you look at all these wee markers and these wee inspirations, like when you think of Linfield the week after, and can you now start to visualise you walking out onto the pitch and them booing you and you giving them the fingers and
yeah, well, that's probably bigger than the fight. No, flip. Yeah, mate, listen, I don't win a title as an amateur, you know what I mean? I've done well for myself, like, I had to give myself credit, and I remember I did turn pro, and there was people said that Dan Anderson, I remember Dan saying to me, listen, and it was hard too at the time. Dan was like, listen, there's going to people are going to go, why is he turning pro? And people did, and hopefully I've just earned the respect a bit more, you know what I mean? Now I still haven't made it or anything like that, but the Duffy won a lot as an amateur, was a lot better amateur as me. Gardy here is another he's another one, so I get the win against Gardy, and hopefully, you know what I mean, people understand that you don't need to be a big amateur to be a pro. You know what I mean?
I've seen something obviously in your gym there today that obviously says that hard work beats talent when
Yeah.
talent doesn't work hard. That's the
I'm a
ethos
hard
for
worker,
you, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm a hard worker. So I'm a grafter, as my mates call me. So yeah, mate. So I just can't wait. Like 5 weeks. 5 weeks.
5 weeks tomorrow.
Can't wait. Like.
When you look at the Declan Geraghty fight, do you feel that obviously that you've had a stoppage previously, that obviously you can get another one? You know, do you feel like maybe down the stretch, maybe even, you know, Declan Geraghty obviously hasn't fought probably more than 6 rounds, I think, in a couple of years now. So when you look at the home stretch sort of in the fight, do you now sort of look to it as you could obviously put on a statement performance here?
Yeah, like I'll probably not outbox him. So, I just don't know what way it's gonna go, mate. I didn't think I was gonna do that to Duffy. So I'm obviously training really hard. The fight's all I'm thinking about, and as long as I get in and get the win, that's all that matters to me. As long as I become Irish champion, that's all I'm thinking about. You know what I mean?
And obviously becoming ranked in Europe as well. You know, it's another one to think of.
That's another massive thing, but that comes with it. You know what I mean? I don't want to go, I win this year and be ranked in Europe. Like, just want to be Irish champion. You know what I mean? And it's massive for me. Guy about 18 amateur fights, didn't win a title as an amateur. So it's huge for me. Like, this could be my world title, but then I'll push on after it. You know what I mean?
Do you sort of look at it sort of maybe in the mould of Paddy a wee bit? You know,
Yeah,
obviously
exactly,
where Paddy obviously went away from boxing, he's come back and, you know, he's on the verge of obviously massive fights there, and people sort of looked at him winning the Celtic title as sort of his ceiling, and everything he's pushed on for since. There's no right or wrong way to do things. Like, you can keep winning. Like, who's to know in a couple of years' time you're 20-0 and you're going and fighting for the European title here.
Had that happen. So that's it, mate. It's flew into like 4 years as a pro. This is my 13th fight. It's flipping crazy, like. You know what I mean? I'm obviously loving it. But it does fly in, like 28 there on Tuesday. Crazy. I turned pro when I was 23 or 24. So just flying in, you know what I mean? I'm loving it, you know what I mean? I'm living my dream. Obviously it's hard work. I'm still taxiing and taxiing part time. So it's not all, you know what I mean? It's not all money and money this and money that. So hopefully win this fight and start getting good money too, you know what I mean?
That's obviously the good thing with it as well, becoming Irish champion and obviously then defences and things like that and moving on.
Yeah.
You've been nearly coming away from the sort of commission side of things and obviously getting purses, and you're going, what's this money for? And you're going, oh, it's your fight purse, and you're going, what's going on? You know, that's when you start to that's when you start to live it even more, because obviously, you know, sometimes the cost of the tickets cover your opponent and everything else, whereas now you can sort of look out and going, I've money left in my pocket. I can start looking to things, you know, like Paddy was able to buy a house, you know, from sort of boxing, so you can sort of look to the future as a fight purchase build.
That's for me to buy, if I come out with a house, I'm happy man. Anything extra is a bonus, you know what I mean?
Definitely. Well, listen, thanks very much for your time as always. Obviously just over 5 weeks to go, 5 weeks tomorrow. Obviously I'm sure it'll not be long and flying in.
It is flying in,
you know, but I'm sure we'll catch up again in fight week and speak to you very soon.
Good man, big sir.
Cheers, take care.